Morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Katrina B. de Mesa-Portes from Talipan National High School Senior High Department, and I'm your online demonstration teacher for this morning. And our topic for today's lesson is ethical and unethical behaviors among counselor for the third quarter under the subject discipline and ideas in applied social sciences. And for the most essential learning competency or the MELC is to distinguish between ethical and unethical behaviors among counselor. We have three learning objectives for today's topic, and at the end of the lessons, the students are expected to first is define what is ethical and unethical. Second is evaluate the ethical and unethical behavior among counselor and create different digital art of unethical practices of a counselor. The lesson flow that we will be using for this lesson will be the idea format composed of introduction, development, engagement, and assimilation. Next slide. Introduction. Using the Google chat, the student will answer the definition of ethical and unethical. For this activity, students will use their online gadgets like cell phone or tablets. Okay, class. In your own words and understanding, define ethical and unethical. Okay, as you can see here, you can scan the code, the QR code, or click the link to join in our Google chat. Are you able to access the link and the QR code to answer our first activity? Okay, that's great. You are given 1 minute to chat all your answers. Okay, here are your real-time answer. Okay, I can see here your answer that ethics are moral principles that govern person's behavior. That's right, okay? Another one is your answer classmate, your classmate answer here, unethical is not morally correct, and that is right. Okay, what for today's lesson, what do you think is our topic for this morning? Yes, Jamber? That's right. It is connected with our previous lesson about counselors. What else? Yes, I see some hands. Yes, Kim? Okay, that's right, Kim. It is about ethical and unethical behaviors or doings of our counselors. Okay, for our next activity, we will be using Jamboard. Okay, so you need to complete the following, right? Responsibilities and accountabilities in counseling. The first and last letter are given as clue using Jamboard. You may input your answer in the Jamboard for real-time answers. Don't forget to type your name for me to identify your answer. Are you ready? Okay, that's great. Now let's start. Okay, here are your real-time answer. Okay, for number one, establish goals and very good evaluate is the correct answer. Progress with the counselor, Rachel, Jasmine, and Johan. For number two, the correct answer is participate fully each session to help maximize a positive outcome. Very good, Ophel, Jenny, Frank. And for number three, avoid placing a counselor in ethical. Very good, Alimas. Okay, for number four, no information about the session will be disclosed to outside parties unless given. Okay, very good, Jasmine. And for number five is a counselor should be readily available for communication with the clients, either telephone, emails, or other platforms. Okay, what do you think is the connection of our previous activity to our topic for this morning? Yes, Mikaela? Okay, that's right. Knowing the right responsibilities and accountabilities in counseling, we can easily know the ethical and unethical behavior of a counselor. Okay, for today, for our next activity, we're going to play a game. Okay, it is called Student Field. Okay, you need to answer or give at least give top five common problem among senior high school and top five common misconception about counseling. Okay, so next is let's play Student Feud. Okay, you need to answer top five common problems among senior high school students. Here are your answers with corresponding points for recitation. Okay, for top one, relationship problem, family problem, academic problem, financial problem, and last one is personal problems. Okay, here for the common misconception about counseling, here are your top answer. Number one is a person seeking for counselor has a mental illness. Counseling means giving advice. Counseling is a part of the discipline board. A counselor is a problem solver. And the last one is counseling is a brainwashing. Okay, all of this is the common misconception about counseling. Okay, so what have you feel when we were playing the student field? Yes, Frank? Frank feel excited. Okay, when he was playing this game. And Hannah, okay, Hannah is very happy. Okay, so for this activity, what have you learned? Anyone? I see some hands. Okay, yes, Ira. Okay, Ira learned the different misconception about counseling that makes her understand more about counseling sessions. Okay, another. Okay, yes, Nexus. Okay, that's great. So Nexus learned that his problem are also encountered by any other student in senior high school. Okay, next is this. We're going to distinguish what is ethical and unethical in counseling. You need to like, or dislike the unethical behavior of a counselor. Okay, like for ethical and dislike for unethical. First question is the counselor maintain appropriate record in of of his or her client. Like or dislike? Okay, that is ethical. Okay, that's correct. So next is the counselor formulate workable counseling plan, ethical or unethical. That is ethical. Very good. Next is the counselor obtain informed consent from the client. Ethical or unethical? Very good. That is ethical. Okay, the counselor does not keep he does not keep records or keep inappropriate records. Ethical or unethical? It is unethical. A counselor should keep a record, appropriate record only in counseling. Okay, next is the counselor show sincere and authentic self to client. Ethical or unethical? That is ethical. Very good. The counselor maintain the confidentiality of the process. Ethical or unethical? That is ethical. That a counselor should always maintain confidentiality of the process. Okay? The counselor should take time to practice self-care. It is ethical or unethical? Of course, it is ethical. Okay, next is the counselor avoid dual relationship with client. There should be no romantic or physical relationship. It's ethical or unethical? Okay, very good. It is ethical. You need to avoid, okay, it's a no-no for counseling a dual relationship with your client. Next is a counselor practice a high level of public responsibility. It's ethical or unethical? It is also ethical. A counselor should practice a high level of public responsibilities. Okay? Next is the counselor has no counseling plan, or if he or she has, it is not workable. It is ethical or unethical? Of course, it is unethical. A counselor should always have a counseling plan and to have a workable plan for a specific case or problem. Okay, next is the counselor practice a low level of public responsibilities. Ethical or unethical? It is very unethical. A counselor practice a low level of public responsibility is a no-no for a counselor. Okay, next is a counselor does not take care of him or her that can cause burnout that lead to a harmful care of client. Ethical or unethical? Of course, it is unethical. Okay, next is the counselor does not obtain informed consent from a client. Is it ethical or unethical? Okay, this is unethical. A counselor should always need to obtain a very good informed consent. Okay, next is, okay, Moira, please read. Okay, the answer for this is counselor tell lies to client. Is it ethical or unethical? Of course, it's unethical. Thank you, Moira. Okay, for our next is, yes, Kimberly. Okay, the counselor established dual relationship with a client. It is unethical. Okay, for our last question, the counselor share information about a client without consent. Yes, Mary Jane? Okay, the answer is unethical. So what do you have learned for this activity? Anyone from the class? You guys see some hand? Okay, yes, Ophel? Okay, that's great. Ophel, you were able to distinguish ethical and unethical behavior of a counselor. Okay? Okay, for our next activity, you need to complete the following sentence by adding ethical traits of a counselor. You can answer 2 to 3 sentences. Okay? You may click the link or scan the QR code to answer our activity. You are given only 3 minutes to answer. Okay, time's up. Anyone from the class who would like to answer our activity? Yes, Carmela? Okay, so that is correct. A counselor should be or should maintain a confidentiality of a counseling process. On the other hand, okay, yes, Calvin, that's right. A counselor should avoid romantic or dual relationship in a counseling process to a client. Great job! We were able to know the ethical traits of a counselor. Okay, next. Okay, for our next activity, you will answer the statement if it is ethical or unethical. So, again, you may scan the QR code here. This is our QR code. And the link, you may click the link for you to answer our X activity. You're only given 5 minutes to answer these questions. Okay, time's up. All your answers were checked automatically and you will all have a passing scores. Congratulations. Okay, next is assimilation. For our next activity, you are going to create a digital art story with 4 prints that show ethical practices of a counselor using the Canva application that shows your answer. Okay, here are the rubrics to grade your digital art. You can send your digital art to my email address, aracadina.portes@deped.gov.ph. Okay. Okay. Lastly, for our last activity, we're going to evaluate or the pause test the learner, or you need to answer the 5 formative tests via Google. Again, you need to scan the QR code and sign in for your Google account, or may click the link for you to answer the Google form for this evaluation. Okay, or this is what your Google form should be look like. Next one, screen recording. Okay, for our last activity, this is your reflective journal. You will answer or you're going to complete the following sentences below as you write it in your portfolio, and you may also submit it via our digital portfolio. Okay, I understand that blank and I realize that blank. All your answers should be connected with our topic for this morning. Do you have any question? Okay, none. That's great. Again, thank you for listening.